This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic.
Hello, bright soul. Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast. I'm recording from a different spot in my home today because it is a gorgeous Colorado day. Got up this morning. I went to the gym. Actually, before I went to the gym, I did a really long extended meditation, a cleansing ritual, and then I went to the gym and I just did a little bit of movement, did some recovery work, came home, grabbed some coffee, ate some breakfast, sat outside and enjoyed the sunrise. Oh my goodness. So much to be grateful for. These are the things that really light me up. And we have a lot to be grateful for. And I know that we're getting into a time that's turbulent. And this is why I want to come to you today and talk about clearing negative energy. I also want to address my voice really quickly before we go into the topic for today. You all are so sweet. You all sent me suggestions. You've been trying to help me troubleshoot. Well, I have it solved and it goes along with the topic for today. So here's the deal. Right before my voice started getting a little raspy, actually at the exact time this started happening, I had met someone who does handyman work and they do contract work. And I was excited because this person was saying, oh, they're on the path. They're a longtime meditator and really acting like a very cool, calm, collected, skilled person. And I do believe he's skilled. So I had hired him to do handyman work and y'all, my voice kept getting worse and worse and worse. And so I was really honest about how I really can't have people in my space or in my inner circle that is doing any shenanigans like drinking drugs, low energy stuff. I just can't have it in my space, especially not consistently because I'm doing really high vibrational work. And I know that that low energy would love to get in here and interrupt the work that I'm doing. And I know from experience, and it's not from a place of being fearful, it's from a place of knowingness because I battle this stuff. I battle it for you. I battle it for me. I'm a light worker and I'm out front. So who I have around me is really vitally important. And so this person is nodding, going along, acting as though he meets those standards, and he absolutely did not. So whatever was going on with him was interfering with me. So I think it was like, I don't know if he was struggling with addictions, but things that he was dabbling in was starting to affect me, even though I'm doing my daily spiritual practices. So this is why I talk about, yes, do your grounding, do your spiritual practices, and trust and know because it's all going to work out. And it all worked out. So that's the other thing I want to talk to you about, especially when we're sensitive. So sometimes we can get a little bit too, I don't want to say paranoid, but a little bit too scared about negative influences. It won't get a hold on you the way you think as long as you're doing these practices. So my voice, it started getting a little raspy. And I thought that was really bizarre because I've always had allergies. I've had allergies forever, seasonal allergies, and I've never, ever had my voice affected. In fact, people that don't talk to me regularly, they think I have a cold. There's a significant difference in my voice. However, I don't have a cold. And people would say, does your throat hurt? No, my throat doesn't hurt. So I called someone who has known me a long time, who is intuitive, and I asked her, could you just tell me really quickly what's going on with my voice? Is it my testosterone? Are my hormones off? I mean, sisters and brothers, your girl is perimenopausal. I actually think I'm menopausal at this point, but that's a story for another time. So she looked and she goes, it's a man. It's a man you recently started spending time with. And I thought, well, that's weird because I thought I'm not spending that much time with him and I'm just going to hire him to do handyman work. What? So I blew it off. And listen, I'm still on this path just like you. So I blew it off. So fast forward months, we're spending more time together and I'm getting to know him more. And he's taking forever to complete the work in my home. It is taking forever. I cannot stress this enough. And I'm getting a little frustrated because I kind of want to cut this connection off, but I really can't yet because he's still doing this work in my home. And I'm wondering what in the heck is taking so long. And in the meantime, my voice is getting worse and worse and worse to the point where I'm losing my voice at the end of the day. And so now, because I'm so aware of my body, I'm almost making it worse. And I want to share that with you because I do it too. I do it too. So now I decide I need to go to the ear, nose, and throat doctor and have him look at my vocal cords. Because if you remember, for those of you who follow regularly, I had went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor about my sense of smell. By the way, I got that back. Woohoo! Through the stuff that we were doing. So I went there about my sense of smell and he started me on this nose spray. So I thought it was the nose spray that was causing this weird change in my voice. It wasn't though. It was this negative energy that this man was entertaining and doing and being deceptive or whatever. So I went back to say, hey man, what's going on here? Did you give me a nose spray that ruined my vocal cords permanently? We got a problem. It's getting worse. So he did a scope. And you all, when you get your vocal cords looked at least this person I went to, they don't go through the back of your throat. They go through your nose. And you know how I am about invasive procedures. My palms were sweating. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, all the healing angels, please be with me. I am so nervous. And you can't do breathing, like breath work, what I'd normally do, because he was in my nose. So, but it didn't hurt. It was just awkward. So he goes down to my vocal cords and he goes, oh, you've got nodules. They're small. They're minor. We can solve this. I've got a protocol. It's okay. We just need to do voice rest. It'll be better in 6 months. And I thought, now, how in the world did I get nodules? I've never had nodules. And yes, I've been clearing my throat. I do clear my throat in the mornings when I wake up in allergy season. So it didn't make sense. So when I had my session with a healer that I work with, that I've been working with consistently for well over 4 years, kind of like a mentor, does like advanced work, different than what I do. I think I've shared with you all before. I'm serious about this work. So I actually do the work that I'm promoting and I walk this. So I asked him to look and he's like, oh, yikes, this man has like slimed your vocal cords. So he does the energy work to disentangle. I'm doing the work on the physical plane because it always goes to the energy body first and then it hits the physical body. So now I'm like, okay, I've got to finish this work that he's doing and get him out of here. His energy was giving me anxiety. It was draining me. He became a vampire, which is crazy, right? Because I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming. And when someone's in your home and when they have access to your inner aura, in the beginning, I wasn't shielding myself because I didn't think I had to. And then once I realized he was the culprit of my voice, then I started doing uber shields, which he felt. So then it started getting weird. And then you've got that strange dynamic where there's a distancing and an anxious detachment, distancing and an anxious attachment. I'm like, oh, good Lord, we got to get done with this. So I started working with a vocal coach. Here's the blessing. I started working with a vocal coach, and the vocal coach has really helped me to learn how to use my voice in a way that doesn't fatigue it, that makes it more gentle and easeful and not as forceful and stressful on my voice. So it's been super, super helpful. And I decided to just just take the money that I gave you for the handyman work, way overpaid the man. He ended up charging me way more than we originally agreed upon. Doesn't even matter. The work wasn't even done that well. But you know what? How people act is their karma. How I respond is mine. I know that. So whatever's going on with him, let's just bless and release. So with working with the vocal coach, after I cut that connection, I found the most amazing handyman that lives in my neighborhood. He's efficient. He's quick. He's timely. If he says he's going to be here, he'll be here. He came in, was like, oh, this is some terrible work. Let's clean this up. Let's do this. And I got it handled. And I'm so grateful. So what I wanted to say to you is these challenges are still going to come up. You're still going to encounter people who maybe don't have the best intentions and maybe you don't see it right away, but there's always a reason and you're always protected. And while you're doing this work, it's not going to get too far off and it will always end up being a blessing in the end because the vocal coaching has been a blessing. I found a new handyman that can do all this stuff. He's reasonably priced. He's fair. He does a great job. And isn't it so amazing when you find someone who is a person of their word, who does great work in integrity, who shows up when they say they're going to show up, who's not sliming you, who's not unprofessional. And that was the other thing. He was like sliming my space. It was exhausting. So it all worked out. And I know this is a super long intro, but I think it's so important because you and I have conversations so often about how you didn't see something coming and then you start beating yourself up, or how you were slimed with the negative energy and now you're freaking out. Maybe it's someone you live with. You don't have to do that. I'm going to share with you tips and tools today on how to clear the negative energy, Number one. Number two, I'm on this path just like you. It still happens. It's part of walking in this walk. We could have had a karmic attachment. Who knows? Or maybe this was an opportunity for me to create more good karma for myself and respond in a way that protected me and my family. And I wasn't ugly. I just had to be very direct because I had to handle this in a professional manner. So there's always a reason. I know this was a long intro. Let's start by going into the specific ways that you can clear negative energy if you happen to get entangled. So let's start with the practical ways you can clear negative energy from your aura. Physical movement, exercise, yoga, dancing. There's even something called the skeleton shake. It's a shamanic practice, and you're really just shaking your body, shaking it off. Brisk walking, all these things help release tension and negative energy from the body. And you can set your intention as you're moving. I'm moving out any negative energy from my aura. I'm releasing anything that doesn't serve me anymore. You can also do, I was going to say it, breath work. I can't go a podcast without mentioning breath work, but you can do rhythmic breathing to center yourself. And again, set the intention that as you're breathing, you're inhaling positive energy and you're exhaling negative energy. You could do the 4-7-8 method. That can be really helpful. You inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8. This can help calm your nervous system and it can help you to release stress. You can also journal as a way of releasing any negativity that you've encountered. You can express what you've absorbed throughout the day, and you can also safely burn the paper or rip the paper up or shred the paper as a sign of a physical release, getting it out of your body, out of your mind, and out of your energy centers. You can also do affirmations. Phrases like, I release what is not mine to carry. I am surrounded by love and light. That can be really powerful and really helpful. You also want to set boundaries. Practicing energetic boundaries, that's a form of protection. Before you go out in public or around someone who you know has a tendency to slime you, you can visualize a protective bubble around you, or you can just set the mental intention to keep negative energy out. You can also visit my channel anytime. I have so many shields and cleansing protocols on my YouTube channel. And if you're a member of Patreon, we've got downloads that you can use there. Anything really over the past 8 years that I've done on my YouTube channel starts primarily with pranic healing, but any of the healings that say energy healing, they start with energy healing, or energy healing is in the title as opposed to Reiki. Those all have a cleansing ritual at first, because that is the pranic healing way. We cleanse first and then we energize. So all of those have nice cleansing properties. So those are really important practical things you can do. For the spiritual side, because we always like to blend both, right? You can use Palo Santo or sage. I personally use Palo Santo more than sage, but I also have sage and Palo Santo videos on my YouTube channel that you can use. I also have a clearing spray. I've been making this clearing spray for years. I know I don't typically promote it much because if you're drawn to it, you'll find it. If you visit my website, you'll find it. It's under my shop tab. But my clearing spray has essential oils all designed to clear and protect you and your space. All the instructions are on my website under the description. But you can also make your own. You can take sea salt. If you live near the ocean, you can use the salt from the ocean because that has negative ions in it. Salt water is known to have a very protective property, a cleansing property, and you can add some essential oils in to add your own and make your own clearing spray. That's something I've been doing for years, and I absolutely love it. You can also just use meditation and visualization, sitting in a quiet space, breathing deeply, and visualizing a white or golden light surrounding your body, pushing away any negative energy. You can imagine this light filling you with peace and positivity. You can also use crystals if you feel drawn. The reason I don't speak about crystals a lot is because it's so imperative that you cleanse those crystals and then program them to do the very thing that you're asking them to do. What I find with crystals is oftentimes they get congested really, really easily and people don't clear them. And if they're not clear, they could be contaminating you or not helping you. So I personally don't use crystals a lot for that reason, but if you want to and you're drawn and you're a crystal person, you can use black tourmaline, clear quartz. Both of these can help absorb negative energy and promote grounding. Just remember to cleanse them regularly and also program them. The other thing I love to do is a salt bath or a salt scrub. You can do these all different kinds of ways. You can take a pound of baking soda and a pound of sea salt. A pound of baking soda is just the square box, and a pound of sea salt is just a cylinder of sea salt. And you could add some essential oils, set the intention. That can be a nice cleansing, purifying bath. You can also just use sea salt and essential oils and just set the intention that it's cleansing away any negative energy. We always recommend you only stand for about 20 minutes because you don't want to reabsorb the energy after it's already been cleansed from your body. So that can help you. And if you don't have access to a bathtub or you don't want to take a bath, you can use a sea salt scrub. That can also be really, really helpful just to get the energy cleansed on and off of you. You can also grounding yourself by walking barefoot on the grass or the soil, just using the earth to help you release any negativity you've absorbed and restore your balance. To me, this is really, really helpful. I like going and sitting in the sun and just asking the sun to bathe me and cleanse me and calling in my angels and asking just to be healed and cleansed and purified. I find that helps so much. Cord cutting is also really, really helpful. You can just visualize the cords dissolving and you can set the intention. Any negative cords that you've absorbed during the day, may they be released from the root, disintegrated, dissolved. And that can be really helpful. You can also use singing bowls or drums, anything that's making sound to cleanse your space and clear the energy off of your body and out of your aura. And the other thing is just setting boundaries. I know it's hard for us because we're so kind and we're so heart-centered and we want to be a beneficial presence on the planet. We want to be kind. A lot of us are very empathic or sensitive, so we feel the emotions of other people. I've gotten so good at just setting boundaries around my time and access to me. You don't have to be rude about it. If you know you're going to be interacting with someone who brings you down, who is negative, do all the things we talked about before, and then just set a time limit on it. Like, hey, I only have 10 minutes. Let's talk about whatever you need to talk about in these 10 minutes, and then I have to go. Or if you just happen to walk into something and it's overwhelming, the space is overwhelming and you need a moment, you can simply say, I'm so sorry, excuse me, I need to excuse myself. I've got to use the restroom and get out of there. Break contact. Go to the bathroom, do your shields. If you can leave, I know that's not always available or possible, but if you can leave and giving yourself permission to say no. If it doesn't feel good, say no when you can. And guess what? We can do that a lot more than we give ourselves permission to. And with that, let's go into a healing. For this healing, we will clean your aura. We will cut cords and we will ground you so that you feel replenished. We're going to add shields as well, just so you can have a sense of renewal. And I always say uncross your arms and legs. I had someone comment, well, some healers don't have you do that. Okay, I'm not some healers. You can do whatever you want. The reason I say to uncross your arms and legs is because it allows you to be a more open channel for the energy to flow. It's still going to flow, but if you think of a kinked water hose, the water still comes out. It just doesn't come out as forcefully. It doesn't come out as easily because there's a restriction there. So that's the reason I always say to uncross your arms and legs, but you can do whatever feels good. And with that, you can uncross your arms and legs or not, whatever feels good to you. I'm just here to offer the support and be the channel. Okay, let's turn the healing on. Okay, and so it is. And friends, as always, Kali, I appreciate you so much. And my voice is getting better, you all. It's just going to take a little bit longer or not. I'm not putting any type of timestamp on it. I'm just going by what the doctors have said. But we're all in this together and we're all learning. And I appreciate you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.